I'm going to be doing a live stream before the Cruel Jewel 100. It's actually going to be this coming Friday at 9 o'clock. That's May 7th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'm going to invite on a guest. I'm sure many of you are subscribed to his channel. His name is Ryan Clayton, and he is also running the Cruel Jewel 100. Thanks again for joining the channel. My name is Dan. I'm the Ultra Dad, and my channel is all about long distance, especially ultra trail running. Anyway, so before we get into my 12-hour training run and some thoughts on that, if you like my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. Hit the like thumbs up if you like this video, and hit the bell notification as well so that you can be notified of future videos on my channel. So today is going to be a good day in telling you how my 50 or 45 mile 12-hour peak training run went. I definitely wanted to fill you in on that, so one second, let me get some coffee. So that happened, let's see, it was on Monday, so coming up on almost a week ago, and I learned a few things, so I definitely wanted to share that with you. Overall, the run was great. I really feel like I learned a lot. I think it definitely did what, it served its purpose. It got me ready to go for the Cruel Jewel 100. If you've been watching my channel at all, you know that that's my main goal right now. The Cruel Jewel 100. I do have a couple other races coming up this summer probably that will also be served well with long efforts like that. So anyway, it really did a good job. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a great day. The weather was perfect. As you saw, if you haven't checked out my video, definitely check out the link above and you can see how it went. But I went 12 hours. I started at about 4 a.m., just slightly before 4 a.m., and then I ran through right around 4 p.m. So, and during that time, I covered 45 miles. It was painful. I'll just be honest, but I really liked it. It really went well, and so let's get into some of the details. All right, so I'd say the first 50K went very smoothly, although it was in the dark. Went very well, and part of the reason was the first thing I wanted to tell you about, and that is the headlamp that I just purchased and upgraded. The headlamp, it's by Phoenix. Actually, one second here. I don't have the headlamp with me right now, it's upstairs, but this is the box for it. It's the Phoenix, let's take a look here. The Phoenix HM65RT. And this headlamp is really a game changer for me. In the past, I've definitely spent a very little amount of money on my headlamps. Basically just bought the cheapest thing I could find. And for the Mohican 100 that I did in the fall, again, upper right-hand corner, if you haven't watched that video, I learned a valuable lesson, and that is if you're going to run overnight, you really need to find a nice headlamp or torch, as they say in Britain. So So that's what I did. And the Phoenix HM65RT is awesome. I just can't say enough about how nice this headlamp is. Well worth the money. I mean, it just paved the way in front of me. I could see everything. I wasn't concerned at all about tripping on things. So I highly recommend this headlamp. I actually learned about the headlamp from Jeff Pelletier, his channel, upper right-hand corner. That's going to get old, isn't it? But he did a great video on a bunch of different options for headlamps, and this was one of them that he talked about. It uses a pretty large battery, but you can charge it by USB, and so I bought an extra battery, but it lasts quite a while. So should get me through the entire night at Cruel Jewel without using my spare backup battery. And so anyway, I just can't say enough about this thing. It has a flood lamp setting, and it has a spotlight setting. And I basically, for most of I think it was about 3 hours I was in the dark, I used the flood lamp setting because it does exactly what that sounds like. It floods the entire space in front of you. So you see pretty much everything in front of you. It's just really, really nice. At Mohican, I was using a cheap piece of junk that you just basically saw a little tiny spotlight, and it wasn't that bright. And I actually, if you have seen that video, I ended up twisting my ankle at one point. It was kind of a mess, so I don't recommend it. Don't recommend doing that. Highly recommend the Phoenix HM65RT. So far, so good. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing is be ready for foot pain. This is something where, after that 50K, so about 31 miles, I just realized that my feet started hurting pretty bad, and I had forgotten that is just normal with ultramarathoning. So the constant pounding on the feet just starts to hurt. It's not like a sharp pain at all. I wasn't injured by any means. It just was the soreness that starts to develop. And for me, it's about the 50K mark where you start to feel that. So definitely reminding me of what I felt at the Mohican 100, what I felt at many other ultras. I think with the pandemic, I kind of forgot about that part of it because I haven't really run any super long efforts since the Mohican 100 back in October of last year. So that was just a reminder. And I did not bring ibuprofen for this training run, but I did that on purpose because there are a couple things I didn't do on purpose that I made mistakes with. But I did that on purpose because I wanted to feel that pain. And then when it comes to the actual race, I will bring ibuprofen. And I think that'll be very helpful to get me through those times. So anyway, so in that sense, it was a great training run too. I was able to feel quite a bit of pain, which is important to kind of get that mental toughness and be able to push through that for the 100-miler coming up. All right, so the third thing I wanted to mention are trekking poles. So definitely happy I brought my trekking poles for this training run. The vertical gain for this particular, the 12-hour training run, was about half as much on average per mile as I'll be seeing at the Cruel Jewel 100. So I ran about half the distance, 45 miles, and during that time, about half of the vertical gain that per mile that I would get at the Cruel Jewel 100. So Cruel Jewel is going to be really, really hard. And I'm definitely, obviously, going to have trekking poles. I'm going to have them. I'm probably going to carry them the entire time because I'm self-supporting this. Well, kind of. I'm using drop bags, but I don't have a crew. So I'll probably carry them the whole time, and we'll see. And it's really nice if you know how to use them properly. So just a quick tip. I know I'm not the only person that knows this, but if you can situate the straps on your hand so that you can lean into it and use the pressure to support your weight on the trekking poles, that's a really beneficial way to use them. So I always put my hand in the strap, I kind of wrap it, and then I make it so that I can actually put my weight into the trekking poles and into those hand straps, and that really helps. So my trekking poles of choice are a pair of aluminum trekking poles by Lecky. I don't have carbon fiber poles, mostly for the price. I just didn't feel like it was worth spending that. Maybe over the Cruel Jewel 100 mile, I might change my mind. So because they are a little bit heavier, than carbon fiber, but I've used these for a while now, for probably over a year and a half, and I really like these poles. They've lasted well. That is the one advantage of a aluminum trekking pole, is it will last longer typically than carbon fiber. Carbon fiber has a tendency to break after a while. It can splinter. If it gets caught in something, it can splinter. I have gotten my aluminum trekking poles stuck in roots before, and it just kind of bends. So, and then I bent it back. So it works just fine, and I really like mine. But anyway, trekking poles are going to be key for the Cruel Jewel 100, and that's something else that I thought about during my training run the other day. So last but definitely not least, electrolytes. So I did bring plenty of electrolytes with me. I think during that video, I maybe gave the impression that I forgot them, but I had them back at my truck. It's because I was doing a 7-mile loop. But at one point on one of the loops, I realized that I had forgotten to bring additional electrolytes. So definitely that's going to be very, very important to not forget. And I won't, because I'll have my pack and I'll make sure I have plenty in there. But with the Cruel Jewel 100, replacing electrolytes and salt intake especially is going to be extremely important. So I use salt sticks, the brand Salt Sticks, and I like the chewable. I usually like the lemon lime chewable salt stick tablets. Those are really nice. You just pop one in and let it kind of dissolve in your mouth, and then you can chew it. And I've also been using Cliff Blocks, which some of the flavors have built-in salt as well, or electrolytes. So, so that, I'm trying out Cliff Blocks. I'll probably end up purchasing, and I better buy it soon, some Spring Energy gels as well. So anyway, those were the 4 things that came to mind as I was considering how the run went and things that I was reminded of. So I hope that was interesting for you or helpful. The other thing I definitely didn't want to forget was to mention to you, I'm going to be doing a live stream before the Cruel Jewel 100. It's actually going to be this coming Friday at 9 o'clock. That's May 7th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'm going to invite on a guest. I'm sure many of you are subscribed to his channel. His name is Ryan Clayton, and he is also running the Cruel Jewel 100. And you probably know this because if you follow his channel, because he's been talking quite a bit about it, of course, as he's been training, just like I have. So I definitely wanted to get him on the channel to talk about his preparation, talk about some of his gear, and just his thoughts pre-race. So Ryan Clayton, Friday, and it's going to be very exciting and a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks again for joining me. I hope that that was interesting for you, and wanted to make sure you heard some of my thoughts from my 12-hour training run. Hope you have a good day. We'll see you in the next one.